as they take the field in their Prowler throwbacks for one last time this season. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action. Go to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Monday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Aaron Williams. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. A Monday night that finds your Jacksonville Jaguars now winners of 5 in a row. And ladies and gentlemen, of those 5 wins, they have absolutely beat to death 4 of their opponents. What did I say last week? What did we all say last week? You're playing a bad New York Jets team that's starting an undrafted rookie quarterback. You don't need to just go out there and win 17-14 or 21-20. You need to go out there and you need to dominate. Even I didn't think, though, that Trevor Lawrence would go for 380 yards from scrimmage, 5 passing touchdowns, add a rushing touchdown on top of that. His best statistical game of his NFL career as Jacksonville won the game by 4 touchdowns. That is the 4th time in this 5-game winning streak that we've seen Nick Mullins in the game in the 4th quarter. That is the 4th time where Trevor Lawrence had a ball cap on in the 4th quarter because the game was no longer in doubt, and that just doesn't happen in the National Football League. I don't care who you're playing. People can say, oh, well, you're playing the Titans. Yeah, that Titans team out in San Francisco yesterday, that was a 37-24 game. I mean, they gave the 49ers a game. That Titan team beat Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland, the week before that. The game was never in doubt when the Jaguars went to Nashville. Indianapolis, right? Game was never in doubt. Indianapolis's defense did not allow a touchdown to Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks yesterday. They allowed 6 field goals. They didn't allow a touchdown, and yet Jacksonville did whatever they wanted to do against that Indianapolis Colt defense. So the narrative that's already building, and I can already hear it this week, is, yeah, the Jaguars are playing well, but they haven't beaten anybody. Hey, say whatever you want, man. You win 6 out of 7 in this league. You win 5 in a row in this league, and 4 of those 5, your backup quarterback is taking snaps in the 4th quarter because the game is no longer in question. Again, I don't care who you're playing. That is simply getting the job done. That is exactly what the Jaguars did. They are now 10-4 on the year, and they will have a monster, and I do mean a monster game coming up this Sunday at Mile High against the 12-2 Denver Broncos. So we will certainly spend a ton of time on that. And then earlier this morning, DJ Lagway decides that it's time to transfer out of the University of Florida. Certainly have a lot of thoughts on that as well. Why did it not work out for DJ Lagway? Look, I get it. Gator fans, you all wanted it to work. You all hoped that DJ Lagway was the next coming of, Tim Tebow and Danny Warfel and Rex Grossman and the Gator greats. I hoped that too. But it was apparent to me last year when he completed 60% of his passes, 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, that something wasn't right. And the entire offseason, when I brought that up, I would get Gator fans just ripping me on social media, saying, oh, he was injured, or it's the coaching, or this, that, or the other. Oh, all right. And then you play this year, and yeah, he didn't practice much in the offseason. But by the time the regular season rolled around, I mean, how much practice time do you need? He was in there for every game. He started all 12 games for the Florida Gators, and he just did not get a lot better. Maybe a little bit towards the end, but he was bad at times. I just think he needs a fresh start. I think the University of Florida needs a fresh start. I think the offense that the Gators are going to run with Buster Faulkner does not suit necessarily what DJ Lagway does best. I get Gator fans are upset and disappointed. I'm personally not. I hope DJ Lagway does very well. I have nothing against him. Heck, I remember the day he signed with the Gators, we had him on right here on Hacker After Dark. I had him on, and I had his high school coach on. I have nothing against DJ Lagway. He just didn't play very well in his time at the University of Florida, and obviously the Gators, based on reports, probably wanted to move on a little bit from DJ Lagway. The new staff did, and that appears to be the case as Lagway has entered the transfer portal. So we're going to talk a lot about that as well. Guest lineup tonight looks like this. A little Monday night coaching with Campo. My buddy Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He joins us in the 9 o'clock hour. Also former Florida Gator, All-American tight end Ben Troop will stop by to give his thoughts on DJ Lagway and the transferring out from the University of Florida. In hour number 1, coming up here in about 30 minutes or so, I got Ross Tucker. Ross Tucker was on the call yesterday for CBS for the Jaguars and the Jets. I think Ross Tucker does a terrific job with his analysis. Really enjoy watching him on television, and he will join us tonight here on Hacker After Dark to give his thoughts on the game yesterday, his thoughts on Trevor Lawrence, Liam Cohen, and we will look ahead to the big Denver game coming up on Sunday. So we're absolutely loaded. We are with you until 10 o'clock, and as always, Jacksonville, we are glad you are spending part of your Monday evening with us. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Aaron Williams. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, so last week I sat here, as a matter of fact, in this chair, talking into this microphone, talking to you, the hardworking men and women of Northeast Florida and beyond. And I said, it's okay to admit it. The Jaguars are good. I know they've let you down in the past. I know they've let all of us down in the past. They would get our hopes up only to crush those hopes with losing season after losing season. But it's pretty apparent to me, and I think it should be pretty apparent to you, that this team is good. That's what the message was last week. Well, I'm going to amend that ever so slightly after yesterday's performance against New York. I'm at the point now, after the Jaguars have won 6 out of 7, including 5 in a row, 4 of those wins in dominating fashion. They sit 10-4, I believe, for only the 4th time in franchise history. They're 2 wins away from equaling the second best mark in a Jaguar season. 1999, they won 14 games. They've never won more than 12 besides 1999. That could very easily happen in the next couple of weeks. You're talking about one of the best Jacksonville Jaguar football teams that this franchise has ever had. So I'm going to amend what I said last week. Jaguar fans, it's okay to not only admit that this team is good, which I think is painfully obvious that they are. I think it's okay to admit now that this is one of the best football teams in the National Football League. Tell me who's playing better than Jacksonville right now. You could definitely argue Denver, and you'd probably be right. They've won 11 in a row, and Jacksonville will see them on Sunday. So I will give you Denver. Outside of the Broncos and their 11-game winning streak, is there any other obvious team that is clearly playing better than the Jacksonville Jaguars are right now? I don't think so. I mean, Houston, yeah, probably every bit as good. They've won 6 in a row. The Jaguars have won 5 in a row. I'll give you Houston, about as good. The Chargers, Jacksonville just beat them 35-6 not all that long ago. Indianapolis, of course not. Buffalo, hit or miss, but they've lost a couple of games recently. Look, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not just a good football team in 2025. They're one of the best football teams in the NFL in 2025. As it stands today, we could have a completely different conversation next week. But as we sit here tonight on the 15th day of December in the year 2025 at 8:09 Eastern Standard Time, I am perfectly fine telling you to embrace the fact that your Jacksonville Jaguars are not only a good football team, they're currently one of the best football teams in the entire National Football League. What a performance yesterday by Trevor Lawrence. 380 yards from scrimmage, 6 touchdowns, best performance of his career. I'm old enough to remember, and I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. I did it as well. I'm old enough to remember when Travis Etienne was going to be released or traded in August because of the emergence of Tank Bigsby. Boy, life comes at you quick, right? That was 4 months ago. Since then, Bigsby obviously shipped off to Philadelphia, and Travis Etienne, all he did yesterday was score not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns through the air. Travis Etienne is going to have a career year if he stays healthy over these next 3 games. Brian Thomas Jr. has found whatever he was missing. Jacoby Myers has completely transformed this offense. And the much maligned Jaguar offensive line, who we have gotten onto, sometimes in a major way earlier in the year, 3 straight games, they have not allowed a sack of Trevor Lawrence. And in 40 dropbacks yesterday, the New York Jets, who have a pretty good D-line, mind you, there's first-rounders on that D-line. The New York Jets were credited with 2 quarterback hits. 2. That is the offensive line getting it done. It's hard to complain about anything the Jaguar offense did yesterday. They were so good, they got the Jets defensive coordinator fired earlier today. Steve Wilks let go by Aaron Glenn after the Jacksonville Jaguars absolutely ran through that defense like a hot knife through butter. So we'll continue the conversation on the Jaguars and the Jets. Again, the man that called that game for CBS television yesterday, Ross Tucker, will join us coming up here in about 20 minutes or so. We'll also get into DJ Lagway entering the transfer portal down at the University of Florida. We're glad you're with us on a Monday night here in the city of Jacksonville. And by the power of technology, I think we just had a tag in, tag out. Aaron Williams out, Dylan Denmark in. Denmark, I was worried about you, man. It was all good.
Yeah, we're Gucci.
All right, good. I don't. That means good. We're straight.
Yes,
all right.
the kids will tell you that is a good thing.
All right, I'm the oldest 42-year-old on the planet. You got to set me straight with some of that. Now with Dylan Denmark, the hacker Ryan Green with you. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. More in the Jaguars, more on DJ Lagway transferring out of the University of Florida. A lot to do till 10 o'clock. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
A strong fence makes a good fence. A strong defense makes a good team.
They're the best defense in the league for a reason.
Each week, Superior Fence and Rail presents the Defensive Player of the Game. Go, Dennis, go! On 1010XL.
Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi are on a mission to sell 2,000 vehicles this December. I've instructed my team to take every reasonable offer. We won't lose your business over price. Thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs priced to move. Get year-end savings, top dollar for your trade, and the easiest car buying experience ever. But hurry, these deals end when we hit 2,000 and we ain't leaving nothing on the table. Make it a December to remember only at Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the town, no gifts for the ladies could truly be found. They hinted at diamonds, at sparkle and bling, but chain store price tags made wallets go cha-ching. Then what to their wondering eyes should appear but Beard's Diamonds, so sparkling, so near. No risk, no regret, no big corporate chain, just family-run brilliance that eases the strain. Beard's Diamonds is local, with prices that please. Better diamonds, more choices, and warranties with ease. More carat, more fire, more glow for the price. Shop Beards, wrap it up, steal kisses twice.
Are you looking to make some Christmas magic this year? Get her the perfect gift from Beard's Diamonds. The largest selection of rings, pendants, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, new designer and fashion, all at the guaranteed best prices from the town center's only locally owned jeweler. And now during our 44th anniversary sale, you save as much as 44% store-wide. Let Beard's non-commissioned experts help you find the perfect gift. From one Jacksonville family to another, Merry Christmas from Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, adorable mascot for Checkmate Coatings.
If you're thinking of refinishing your garage floor, there's two things you need to know about us. My family has been in the concrete coatings industry for more than 40 years.
And I was drawn 6 months ago by an artist in New Jersey.
Why is that even relevant?
Well, you said 40 years experience, so I had to give them something.
Over the years, we've worked closely with major manufacturers to develop a multi-layer application process that creates beautiful, durable, and long-lasting floors.
So even decades from now, your garage floor will look as gorgeous as it did the day it was installed.
Experience?
Check. Durable?
Check. Decades of experience making garage floors gorgeous? Checkmate.
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund helps families battling childhood cancer, and there are ways you can help. Go to tcjfund.org.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjags.org.
The 5-Star Veterans Center of Jacksonville is the place homeless veterans can go to recover, recharge, retrain, and reconnect. Learn more at 5starveteranscenter.org.
Her Song is a nonprofit organization that breaks the cycle of human trafficking through survivor care, victim outreach, and education. Find out how you can help at hersong.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Dropping the throw stroke. Looks four-man rush. Fires once Etienne. Near the goal line. He dives for it. Touchdown! They snuck Travis Etienne out of the backfield, and he scored a touchdown with 21 seconds to play and a half. How good is that?
That was Frangie, Jaguars radio yesterday. The Jaguars just destroy the New York Jets. 48-20. Trevor Lawrence, 5 touchdown passes. 3 of them go to Travis Etienne. Just for good measure, Lawrence added 51 yards on the ground and another rushing touchdown in what was statistically the best game of Trevor Lawrence's NFL career. It is Hacker After Dark on a Monday. Glad you're with us. 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Final game of Week 15 has kicked off. Monday Night Football, Miami and Pittsburgh. Boy, it's got to be frustrating to be the Dolphins. They've actually rattled off like 3 or 4 wins in a row, but nobody above them in the AFC is losing. Miami, even if they win out, has less than like a 7% chance of going to the playoffs. And in fact, I believe with a loss tonight, Miami would be eliminated. It would be close to being eliminated with a loss tonight. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, this is a gigantic game for them. They need to try to keep pace with Baltimore in the AFC North. In fact, if Pittsburgh wins this game, they will be in first place in the AFC North. With a loss, it is a tie. I'd have to see how the tiebreakers work. But Pittsburgh or Baltimore, one of them is going to get in. The other one is not going to get in. The AFC North will only have one team in the playoffs because whoever does not win that division will not have a good enough record to get one of those coveted wild card spots. And that's the thing with Jacksonville. You know, we'll talk more about this as the week goes on. Again, they got a gigantic game against Denver coming up on Sunday. But really, every team in the AFC, you got to keep winning, right? Because you pretty much know who the 7 teams are going to be. We pretty much know it's going to be Denver, who's already in. New England is going to get in. Jacksonville is going to get in. The Chargers are going to get in. The Bills are going to get in. The Texans, more than likely, are going to get in. And then the winner of the AFC North, Pittsburgh or Baltimore. The only team that even has a shot at getting in that I didn't mention is, I guess, Indianapolis. But they find themselves now 2 games outside the division lead and a game and a half outside the wild card with only 3 to go. So time is running out on the Colts. But the teams that are in, none of them are losing, right? Or they're beating each other. The Chargers keep winning. The Bills keep winning. The Broncos keep winning. The Texans keep winning. The Jaguars keep winning. The only reason the Patriots lost is because the Bills beat them yesterday. So you got to keep winning for seeding purposes. It is going to be a crazy last 3 weeks. I mean, take Jacksonville as a prime example. We're sitting with the 3 seed right now, right? All is right with the world. If they go to Denver on Sunday and lose, and the Texans beat the Raiders, which they will, Jacksonville will, in that case, likely go from the 3 seed to the 7 seed, at least for the time being. So you got to keep winning. There is very little room for error as far as seeding goes with all of these AFC teams. Back to the game yesterday. Trevor Lawrence. You know, I remember sitting in the 1010XL studios. It was like December 20th or 21st of 2020, of the COVID year. And Leon Searcy was not doing the 5th quarter. He was off that day. I was in studio with the big sofa, Damon Jones. And the Jaguars had just lost by like 40 to Baltimore. Just had gotten absolutely crushed to lose their, at that point, that would have been what, their 13th consecutive game. It was just a brutal, awful season. That was the year where they won opening day and didn't win again. So we're sitting there breaking down the Jaguars' 40-point loss to the Ravens. And I got an eye on the New York Jets and the LA Rams. And I'll never forget this moment. It was a 3rd down and 5. Rams are out of timeouts. The Jets were awful. The Jets were competing with Jacksonville for the number 1 pick in that draft. And for some inexcusable reason, Sam Darnold dropped back, found Frank Gore on a little curl route. Frank Gore got a 1st down. Rams were out of timeouts. The Jets won the game. And essentially, as a result of that win, the New York Jets lost out on Trevor Lawrence. The Jacksonville Jaguars got Trevor Lawrence. Now, there have been ups and downs in almost 5 years of Trevor Lawrence in the National Football League. Some would argue more downs than there have been ups. But yesterday's game, yesterday's performance, ironically enough, against the New York Jets, the team that probably should have Trevor if they would have lost that game to the LA Rams back in December of 2020. Yesterday's game was why we all celebrated so much when the Jaguars were able to select Trevor Lawrence. That's what we thought we were getting. Now, it took a long time getting here. You went through the nightmare of Urban Meyer. You went through a little bit of a peak with Doug Peterson, and then crashing down into a valley when Trevor got injured in 2023. And then last year was just a disaster all the way around. So again, far more downs than maybe there have been ups. But yesterday, in the bludgeoning of the New York Jets, that is what you, that is what I, that is what we, collective we, all thought we were getting when we selected Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick in the April 2021 draft. That looked like a generational player yesterday. That looked like a former number one pick. That looked like the prince that was promised, as some will tell you. That looked like Trevor Lawrence. Can he keep it up? We'll see. But he is stacking them, right? Tennessee, 2 touchdowns, no picks, dominating effort. Indianapolis, 2 touchdowns, no picks, dominating effort. And then yesterday, 5 touchdowns, another one on the ground, no turnovers. And then you go back to the Charger game, beating Justin Herbert. They've played 3 times. Trevor has won all 3. And even Arizona, as bad as some of those decisions were for Trevor against Arizona, he led the tying drive to Parker Washington in the fourth quarter and led the game-winning field goal drive in overtime. This has not just been a 1 week or a 2 week or even a 3 week thing with Trevor. We're entering week 6 of really good play by Trevor Lawrence. At what point are we going to say, yeah, but? At what point are we going to stop saying, yeah, but? I think we're getting close to that. If Trevor goes out to Denver on Sunday against that defense, one of the best defenses in the league, and he has another really good, solid performance, man alive, you got to start wondering when all the Trevor naysayers will be put to bed and the prince that was promised, as Nick Wright often says on FS1, if we will start believing that promise may actually come to fruition. It was as impressive a performance yesterday as you'll see any NFL quarterback have. And you say, yeah, it's the Jets. Yeah, it is the Jets. Jets were awful against Miami last week, no question. Tua was very good. But prior to that game last week, even with the trading of Sauce Gardner and the trading of Quinnen Williams, the Jets haven't been awful. They've been awful the last 2 games. Tua made them look bad, and Trevor made them look bad. I don't think the Jets are as bad, though, as Trevor indeed made them look in yesterday's game. So Trevor Lawrence obviously is the big story. Travis Etienne, again, you're going to have to pay that guy. The Jaguars, and we don't want to talk about this because obviously they're in the midst of a huge playoff run, and there is a ton of excitement potentially to come. But you want to talk about some decisions coming this offseason between Travis Etienne, between Jacoby Myers, between Devin Lloyd, Cole Van Lannon. If you want to lump Greg Newsome in there, there are going to be some decisions that have to be made by this team moving forward. Good problems to have because a lot of those guys that are going to hit free agency are having very, very good years. But I'm at the point now, I mean, Denmark, this was posed to us last night on the 5th quarter. If you could only re-sign one of Jacoby Myers and Travis Etienne, boy, what a conversation that would be. I hope you can re-sign both, but both are scheduled to become free agents. What would you do in that scenario? You can have one of Jacoby and Etienne moving forward after this year.
Jacoby, no question.
Probably.
Back. Etienne, you can move on.
Jacoby Myers is 29. Etienne is 26. I think you have to take their age into the equation there. Do you want to pay a running back? That's going to be the question. And again, it's a great problem to have because most of us, I say us, you, me, listening audience, Jaguar Nation, probably didn't expect Etienne to be back in 2026 anyway. But because of what he's doing in 2025 and because of the impact that he's making in this Liam Cohen offense, boy, you got to consider now bringing him back. I mean, he has been dynamic, absolutely dynamic. What do you say about Jacoby Myers? I mean, the offense has been completely different since his arrival. And even without Travis Hunter, which is the fascinating thing, this Jaguar offense has scored 25 or more points, I believe, in 7 straight games. Since the bye week, they have scored 25 points or more in every game since the bye week. And they're doing this without the number 2 overall pick in the draft. The guy that won the Heisman Trophy last year, the guy you traded up to get, he's coming back next year. And you still look at what they got with Jacoby Myers, with Brian Thomas, Parker Washington, Tim Patrick, Brenton Strange. Now, if you did not see this earlier, it does appear that Bashal Tutin is going to miss some time with a finger injury. It's being reported by Ian Rappaport that there was surgery or is going to be surgery on the finger. Not season ending. The thought is they will have Tutin back for the playoffs, but likely to miss a couple of weeks. So, how does that affect things with ETN? Obviously, you would think that would mean a lot more LaQuint Allen Jr. And then what do we see as far as the third running back goes? Remember the name Jaquindon Jackson from the preseason? Is it as simple as that? You activate Jackson from the practice squad, or do you potentially do something else? So the win was great, but a couple of injuries, including Bashal Tutin, which we will have to monitor going forward. 48-20, as dominating a performance as you could have asked for from the Jacksonville Jaguars yesterday. The man that called the game for CBS television is Ross Tucker. I think Ross Tucker does a terrific job. He's got the Ross Tucker podcast, among many other outlets. You can follow his work. Let's talk to Ross Tucker about the performance yesterday. Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence. Let's talk about Liam Cohen, and let's begin to preview ever so slightly the big one at Mile High on Sunday between the 12-2 Broncos and the 10-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. Ross Tucker called the game for CBS yesterday. He joins us on Hacker After Dark next, right here on a Monday evening in Northeast Florida. It's 1010XL, and it's 92.5 FM.
Sometimes it's an offensive show.
You gotta be kidding me.
Sometimes it's a show of offensive discipline.
There are no words.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game on 1010XL.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Ready to take your gift giving to the limit? Hey, I'm Ben Kay, owner of Gotham City Limit, your local comic shop, inviting you to stop by and see how we can help this holiday season. From comics to collectibles, community, and more, visit GothamCityLimit.com and always take it to the limit.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is served by Dandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, I'm worried.
You? Really? About what?
Well, I like to have a little seasonal potluck. You know, invite some friends and neighbors and guys from the office. But if the food gets spicy and the party gets rocking and that old toilet in the two-piece can't handle the traffic, well, what if my drain backs up right in the middle of everything?
Dude, imagine you're wearing my sunglasses.
Okay. Shoomp. Whoa.
If you're planning to host a holiday party and a blocked household drain line threatens to ruin the whole thing, call us and tell us. The drain clearing experts at Bueller Air & Plumbing will unclog your drain for free.
You do that for free?
It's Christmas.
Yeah, but for free?
The holidays can get pretty hectic. If a clogged drain line threatens to ruin the whole thing, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Food that's good for you can taste good too. Flame Broiler has protein-packed bowls to fuel your day. Introducing their new chicken avocado salad bowl. Made with romaine lettuce, rice, cabbage salad, and topped with a delicious house sesame dressing. It's a bowl full of goodness. Eat in, take out, or catered. Flame Broiler is easy to enjoy. Come in Monday through Sunday for happy hour, 2 to 5 p.m. for a chicken mini bowl and drink for $6.95 plus tax. 5 area Flame Broilers to serve you.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Custom Home Builders. Fed up with your electrical and low voltage companies that ghost you mid-project, sparking delays? Unreliable subs and poor electrical work that derails your schedules? Denny Thompson here for Tyson Inc., experts in seamless electrical services for your custom builds. Pre-construction planning, integration, and installation. No hassle. Your homeowners will love the new Tyson showroom. Home builders team up with Tyson for your next home building project. TysonInc.com.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pest Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit HollisPools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Broncos, Sunday, 4 o'clock. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL, and what all of a sudden is a huge game in the AFC. The Jaguars now sitting 10-4 overall and up by 1 game in the AFC South over the Houston Texans. Let's preview Denver, but let's certainly look back on the win yesterday over the New York Jets, and let's do that with the man that was on the call for the game yesterday at Everbank Stadium for CBS, Ross Tucker. He is, of course, the host of the Ross Tucker podcast. You can also follow him on Twitter at Ross Tucker NFL. Ross, how we doing, man?
Ryan, I am doing fantastic. Awesome to talk with you. And yeah, you know, it's funny. I didn't think about it until you just said that about the Denver game, but it's like, what year was that? Was it 1997, I guess, or 90? It's like that playoff game where Baselli and the boys won in Denver all over again.
It's January 4th, 1997, where the Jaguars were 2-touchdown underdogs, and they went in there and knocked off John Elway and the Denver Broncos. You know, it's interesting you teed me up like that, Ross. I was 13 years old when that game happened. I was, I guess, a young fan of the National Football League. Before we talk about the Jaguars, I want to talk about something that you're very involved with, and that's futurefans.com. Tell us about it.
You know, I love that you just said you were 13, because I don't know, Ryan, if you have kids or whatever now, but it's really, really hard to get young kids to sit there and watch the whole Jags game with you. I mean, it's not like it was. I grew up outside of Philly, and when I was 7 years old, 8 years old, I would sit there with my dad and watch the whole Eagles game every week. I mean, that's just kind of what we did. I think my dad would take out all of his life frustrations on the TV every Sunday. But, man, nowadays, my daughters, my nephews, they don't want to sit there and watch the whole game. It's like they can't sit still. They want to be on their iPad. So I actually teamed up and invested in this company called futurefans.com, because these two guys, one's a Bengals fan, one's a Lions fan. They kind of cracked the code with the storybook-led activity box and how to get your kid to watch the game with you. So I think it's only $60, but if you go to futurefans.com, you'll get a discount, a 20% discount right away. So for $50, it's like you're giving your 5-year-old or 7-year-old, 9-year-old, it could be a grandchild or niece or nephew, you're giving them a gift, but the reality is you're giving yourself an unbelievable gift for the rest of your life. Think about how valuable it would be if you could get your kid or grandkid or whoever to want to sit there and watch the Jags game, especially now. I mean, the Jags are good, and I think they're going to be good for a while. Now is the time to get these kids to be lifelong fans of the Jacksonville Jaguars, like so many of you have been. It's futurefans.com, futurefans.com. Highly, highly recommend it. I would not have invested if I hadn't talked to, 5 or 6 families that said, no, Ross, it really works. Like, okay, well, if it works, I'm in.
Well, I'm the clientele for that because I have a 6-year-old son, and I could certainly use the help there. So futurefans.com, we will certainly check it out here in the city of Jacksonville. Ross, as I mentioned, you were on the call yesterday for the Jaguars in that dominating win over the New York Jets. First and foremost, with your bird's eye view, just give us your thoughts on what you saw yesterday here in Jacksonville.
Well, certainly, there were some issues with the Jets defensively that contributed. We saw that the week before against the Dolphins, and they have since fired their defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks. But it's kind of like when I said during the broadcast, it's still an NFL team, Ryan. This is not, as I said during the game, this is not Raines High School, the state champs, playing some, little school that's 2-8 or something. Like these are NFL teams. These are NFL players. And Trevor Lawrence has 6 touchdowns, over 300 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns, a passing touchdown. I don't think he played the last 10 minutes of the game. So I'm sitting there thinking, what if Brady Cook hadn't thrown those couple picks? What if the game was still in doubt? How many points would Trevor Lawrence have scored? Like, what would his numbers have been? I mean, it would have been one of the greatest performances in NFL history. I'm quite confident he would have thrown at least one more touchdown pass or ran for another one. So that's what impresses me, that they were that efficient. Feels like over the last couple games that Trevor Lawrence has really settled in there, and it feels like it's the best I can remember seeing him play, which is highly, highly encouraging if you're a Jags fan. Liam Cohen told us on Friday that a lot of playing quarterback is, your situation, timing, circumstances around you, and it feels like Trevor Lawrence is at exactly the right place at the right time for his career.
Former NFL offensive lineman Ross Tucker. He is the host of the Ross Tucker podcast. You can follow him on social media at Ross Tucker NFL, and he was on the call yesterday for CBS Sports for the Jaguars' victory over the New York Jets. Ross, it's interesting because the Jaguars' passing attack is doing this without Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter got hurt in practice and is going to miss the remainder of the year. So I don't know if the Jaguars even make the trade for Jacoby Myers had Travis Hunter got hurt. There's some debate there. But the bottom line is Hunter did get hurt, and they did make the trade for Jacoby Myers. And clearly, since his arrival, this Jaguar passing attack has looked much more lethal.
There's no question. And I think the point that you make about Hunter is a really good one in the sense that here they are 10-4. They're obviously on a roll. And they're getting nothing, unfortunately, from the number 2 overall pick in the draft because he had surgery and he's injured and he's done. So it makes you think just how good they would be right now if they had Travis out there in some capacity or anybody that was the number 2 overall pick. I mean, that's how good they've been right now. But you're right about Myers. Trevor Lawrence used the term quarterback friendly. And I kind of challenged him on that. I was like, well, what do you mean by that? What does that mean, quarterback friendly? And, he kind of explained it to me, and where he's going to be, and he's an easy guy to read, which I thought was terrific. The thing I thought was interesting, Ryan, is it was really clear in that game that he's kind of their go-to guy. I mean, there were multiple times. If they're going to take a deep shot, they want it to be Brian Thomas Jr. But when it's a gotta-have-it situation, they're going to scheme something up for Jacoby Myers. I should have said it even more during the game, but there was a couple third downs where I said, Jacoby Myers is going to go in motion here. They're going to throw it to him. And that's exactly what happened, because I could just tell based on how he was lined up and it was third down, they needed to convert. That's where they're at right now with that team. They are Jacoby Myers is the guy that they feel like they can count on.
I'm sure you hear this a lot. I went back and I watched the broadcast yesterday, earlier this morning, and I thought you did a really good job of explaining things. To me, a color analyst, that's their number one job, is to explain what's going on to the fan, and I thought you did a terrific job of that yesterday. And one of the things that you explained was that it was like taking candy from a baby with the Jaguar passing attack when it came to Travis Etienne out of the backfield. I mean, that was a joke, Ross. The Jets linebackers had no answers. Like you said, it cost their defensive coordinator his job earlier today. 3 receiving touchdowns for a tailback out of the backfield. That just simply doesn't happen in the National Football League.
No, and it could have been 4 if they had thrown him the one that they threw to Tootin. That was the coolest scheme and design of all. I mean, the one to Tootin was so cool, where he was lined up offset to the right, came underneath the formation, went inside Van Lanen, who, by the way, is playing fantastic. I mean, Van Lanen is going to get a lot of money from somebody. I think this is the last year of his contract. With the way he's played this year and the multiple positions, wow. It is good to be Cole Van Lanen these days, because he's going to get a heck of a deal. And I look at it and say, Etienne could have had 4. That usually, by the way, this isn't just a Jets thing. That's usually your best matchup. Usually your best matchup is a back out of the backfield who's really good in the receiving game, like Etienne, against a linebacker. And that's especially the case against the Jets. I think, in fairness to the Jets, they had gotten so run over by the Dolphins and so embarrassed by that I could just tell right from the start that those guys were going to be flying downhill to not let the other team get 240 rushing yards against them again. And I just knew that Liam Cohen and the Jags knew that, and they were going to be able to just do first down play action the whole game, and they did, and they got chunk plays, and it's a beautiful thing. You got to coach, really, I would say coaches that know what they're doing right.
Final moments with the host of the Ross Tucker podcast, Ross Tucker, who was on the call here yesterday for CBS for the Jaguars' win over the Jets. Ross, I want to end with the Bronco game, but quickly to Liam Cohen. You had a chance to talk with him on Friday leading up to the game yesterday. Look, Ben Johnson's going to get a lot of love for Coach of the Year, and it's deserved. Mike Vrabel as well, probably Mike McDonald. There's certainly a lot of great coaching jobs this year. Ross, the Jaguars were 5-18 in the 23 games prior to Liam Cohen's arrival. He's got them 10-4 and in first place in the AFC South. Maybe I have my Jaguar homer glasses on here, but I think Cohen's done a fantastic job, and to me should absolutely be in the conversation for Coach of the Year.
Totally agree. Man, I go back a long way with Liam Cohen. When I was working my way up as a broadcaster, doing Ivy League games, since I, used to play in the Ivy League, Liam Cohen, he was the one as the quarterback coach for Brown. So it's pretty cool to see how far he's come and being able to, get to this point in his career. I think 10 years ago, he was the quarterback coach at Brown. It's interesting because I'm actually looking on DraftKings, which is my sportsbook partner, and I don't see the odds right now for Coach of the Year. Vrabel, Ben Johnson, and Liam are the first 3 guys that jump to my mind. Maybe I'm missing somebody, but it's hard to argue with any of them, quite frankly, with how far they've come from where they were last year.
Ross, I want to end with another thought on futurefans.com, but give us 60 seconds. Jaguars, Broncos, mile high on Sunday. The number 1 seed currently in the AFC against the number 3 seed currently in the AFC. That should be a good one out there in Denver, Colorado.
You know what? I kind of keep doubting the Broncos, and they keep proving me wrong. You know, you see them barely winning and not looking impressive in so many, even like the Raiders game. I mean, they only beat the Raiders by a touchdown, and the Eagles just obliterated them. The Broncos have this unique ability to play just well enough to beat whoever they're playing against. But I do think, you know, I don't know that Bo Nix will play as well as he did against Green Bay 2 weeks in a row. You know, I have more faith right now in Trevor Lawrence than I do in Bo Nix. I think it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal football game. I think it can go either way. I truly believe, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on with you, I truly believe the Jaguars are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Very legitimate. Because who in the AFC are you scared of? I mean, the Patriots are good. You know, the Broncos are good. Are they a lot better than the Jaguars? I'm not even sure they're better than the Jaguars at all. You know, I mean, right now, the Broncos are 3-point favorites against the Jags, but, you know, the game's in Denver, so that's probably a couple points there. So I don't know, man. I feel like the Jags are every bit as good as any other team that they're going against. I think you probably still would give the edge in a playoff game to the Buffalo Bills just because of their playoff pedigree and Josh Allen, but they haven't been able to get over the hump and go all the way to the Super Bowl. And if there's ever a year, I guess it would be this year with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs not being in it. It's kind of cool. It feels like there's a lot of people that actually have a chance.
Yeah, no Patrick Mahomes, no Joe Burrow, and potentially no Lamar Jackson. We'll see how the AFC North plays out. You can follow him on Twitter and social media, Ross Tucker NFL. You, of course, listen to his podcast, the Ross Tucker Podcast, which is a terrific listen, by the way. And, Ross, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville one more time about futurefans.com.
Well, listen, if you're like Ryan and you're having trouble getting your son to sit down and watch the games with you, in particular the Jags games, go to futurefans.com. It's basically a lifetime gift. If it works, and I think it will, and they want to watch the Jags games or college football, I don't care. Watch the Gators or Seminoles, I don't care. If it works and they become a fan of football and want to watch the games with you, it'll be one of the best gifts you've ever given them. It really will be one of the best gifts you've ever given yourself. Futurefans.com, futurefans.com.
Ross Tucker was on the call yesterday for CBS for the Jaguars' win over the Jets, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Ross, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time, and we'll talk soon, pal.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Non-stop Knowles. Search 1010XL Seminoles on YouTube.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, adorable mascot for Checkmate Coatings.
If you're thinking of refinishing your garage floor, there's 2 things you need to know about us. My family has been in the concrete coatings industry for more than 40 years.
And I was drawn 6 months ago by an artist in New Jersey.
Why is that even relevant?
Well, you said 40 years experience, so I had to give them something.
Over the years, we've worked closely with major manufacturers to develop a multi-layer application process that creates beautiful, durable, and long-lasting floors.
So even decades from now, your garage floor will look as gorgeous as it did the day it was installed.
Experience?
Check. Durable?
Check. Decades of experience making garage floors gorgeous? Checkmate.
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
The holiday season is the season of love. If you're getting engaged now or just looking for that unforgettable gift for the woman you love, Beards Diamonds is here for you. This Christmas, Beards is proud to showcase the world's premier designers in both bridal and fashion. Like Crown Ring, engagement rings and bands fit for royalty. Crown Ring brings your dreams to life with a vast selection of styles and spectacular precious metals. Beards is showcasing the entire Crown Ring collection with unmatched craftsmanship, design, and comfort. Beards Diamonds is the town center's local jeweler. So at Beards, you never have to settle for corporate chain store quality. We've put together our best selection ever of exquisite jewelry for the holidays. From the newest designer styles to classic diamond studs and diamond bracelets, with your choice of natural or lab-grown diamonds. Whether your holiday budget is a few hundred or a few $100,000, the experts at Beards will help you find the jewelry that reflects your love. Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple, the installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
It's hard to tame a hurricane.
Let's not get hysterical here, okay? Calm down.
Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
Your source for weekly Canes news and nuggets
on 1010XL.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
It's December. You need cash. You also need a new Kia Fast. At Kia on Atlantic, you can get both because it's our year-end cash bash. And during the Kia Season of New Tradition sales event, make no payments for up to 6 months or take advantage of 0% APR. Hurry and get to the year-end cash bash. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you to all the members and contractors for their continued support and partnership. Together, they've helped build a stronger foundation for Jacksonville since 1901. Enjoy spending time with your friends and families this holiday season. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Local 234, make the right connection. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
After Dark on 1010XL.
Halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Final NFL game of Week 15 going on right now up in Pittsburgh. Technically, the Miami Dolphins are still alive for a postseason berth, but it would take, I guess, a sports miracle for that to happen. But they are still mathematically alive. They're in a scoreless game right now with Pittsburgh. Much more important game for Pittsburgh, who's still trying to get their 8th win of the year, gets to stay ahead of Baltimore in the AFC North. The bottom line, Ravens, Steelers, whoever wins the North is getting into the playoffs. Whoever doesn't win the North is not getting into the playoffs. So a vitally important game for Pittsburgh as they take on Miami. Scoreless game, 8.5 to go in the second quarter up in Pittsburgh, and we will keep you updated. More Jaguar talk coming up here in the 9 o'clock hour. The head coach, Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, a little Monday night coaching with Campo. That comes up towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. I guess the one big piece of Jaguar news today is it's being reported that Bashal Tutin has a finger injury that's going to require surgery. According to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, not season-ending, probably a couple of weeks. The hope is to have Tutin back for the playoffs. So it does appear that for this big game against Denver, there will be no Bashal Tutin, which obviously means ETN certainly, an increased role for LaQuint Allen Jr., and then what do they do as far as a third running back? Is it as simple as elevating Jaquindon Jackson from the practice squad? That's probably the direction they would go, I would imagine. We'll see. But again, it does appear Bashal Tutin will be out at least a couple of weeks with a finger injury that he suffered yesterday in the win over the New York Jets. All right, more on the Jaguars, like I said, with the head coach Dave Campo. That comes up towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Biggest news in the college game around these parts revolving around the Florida Gators happened earlier today, I guess late this morning, when it was announced that quarterback DJ Lagway was entering the transfer portal. That is a far removal from DJ Lagway saying, I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially saying, I'm a Florida Gator. This is where I want to be, no more than 2 weeks ago after the Florida State game. So what happened? Well, we're going to get reaction to DJ Lagway transferring from Florida with a former All-American at the University of Florida. My buddy Ben Troop will join us coming up here in less than 15 minutes to get his thoughts on DJ Lagway's departure and what it means for the Gators moving forward. My thoughts on DJ Lagway are this. I don't necessarily think this is a terrible thing for the University of Florida. I was never a DJ Lagway big fan to begin with. I like the guy personally. I remember when he signed with Florida out of the state of Texas, that night we had him on right here on Hacker After Dark. I had him on when he verbally committed to Florida, and I believe I had him on a third time at some point. I know he's come on with me 3 separate occasions before he even enrolled at the school. I also had his head coach out there from the state of Texas on. This is nothing against the person or the kid, DJ Lagway. I enjoyed talking to him. He was a good interview, a polite young man, and I wish him nothing but the best. He just wasn't a very good quarterback at the University of Florida. And I heard so many people say, well, it's injuries or it's bad coaching or this, that, or the other. And yeah, it probably was a lot of that. And maybe it did irreparable damage, irreversible damage to DJ Lagway. Maybe he just thinks that he needs a fresh start and wants to move on to greener pastures elsewhere. Or maybe he wanted to remain at the University of Florida, and either the offense that they're going to run with new offensive coordinator Buster Faulkner is not the best offense for a quarterback like DJ Lagway to operate. Or maybe John Summerall and the new staff just quite frankly think they can get a better quarterback outside in the transfer portal than what they currently have with DJ Lagway. Whatever it is, something obviously changed over the last 2 weeks. And I'm okay with it. And I know the biggest fear among Gator fans is that he's going to go to LSU and thrive. And hey, look, if he goes to LSU and if he thrives, more power to him. But what I saw from DJ Lagway last year in a Gator uniform left a lot to be desired. Quite frankly, he was awful at times. And back in the day, I was always very careful to criticize a collegiate athlete in that regard because they were collegiate athletes. But that time has come and gone in the land of NIL. When you're making millions of dollars to play quarterback at the University of Florida, which is what DJ Lagway was making, millions of dollars, and you throw 4 interceptions against LSU, you get 1 first down in the first half against Miami, and you score 1 offensive touchdown against a group of 5 opponent at home in USF, at that point, you're not above criticism. It was bad. And it didn't get a whole lot better as the year went on. He played well against Texas, played reasonably well in some other games, was awful against Kentucky. I mean, you know, the Ole Miss game where I think, did they bench him Kentucky, Denmark, or did they bench him Ole Miss? They benched him Kentucky.
Yeah, they benched him Kentucky at halftime.
Tramel Jones came in. That was rock bottom for TJ Lagway, was getting benched in Lexington when Kentucky's putting a number on you. And then he comes back from that. He was all right against Ole Miss. He was okay against Florida State. But it was a lost season. It was kind of a lost career for DJ Lagway. And it sucks for Gator fans because I know all of you thought that DJ Lagway was the next Warfel or Tebow or Grossman or what have you. And you wanted so badly to believe coming into last year that you had the guy at quarterback. And if you want to blame Billy Napier, that's fine. If you want to blame injuries, that's fine. I'm not saying those weren't contributing factors. But Denmark will tell you, I sat here at this microphone all off season last year and did not understand where the DJ Lagway love was coming from based on what I saw his freshman year. And I, quite frankly, wasn't all that surprised at how much he struggled. I guess a little bit. I didn't think 4 interceptions against LSU or 30 yards in the first half against Miami. But I wasn't punching my ticket for a Heisman Trophy presentation either, like I know a lot of Gator fans were heading in to 2025. The big question now is, what does John Summerall and this new staff do at quarterback? Well, Tramel Jones is there, right? The Mandarin prospect, who's going to be going into his sophomore year. I don't know this from Adam. I have absolutely no information on this other than I just remember this guy playing for John Summerall. And the name to know to me is Darian Mensah. And you say, well, who's Darian Mensah? Well, Darian Mensah was the quarterback at Duke this year that just threw for 3,600 yards, 30 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, and led Duke to an ACC conference championship. He played for John Summerall and Tulane in 2024 before transferring to Duke. That's just a name I would keep an eye on. I know there's also a high prospect at Georgia Tech that was going to come in and replace Haynes King. Maybe the thought is Buster Faulkner's going to bring him with him to Gainesville. Whatever Florida does, I think they're going to have a plethora of options to replace DJ Lagway, and I'm not all that sure they're not going to upgrade over DJ Lagway when all is said and done. Let's get reaction about Lagway transferring out from a former Gator All-American. My buddy Ben Troop was a terrific tight end at the University of Florida. Ben is certainly one of my guys when it comes to Gator football, and he joins me next. Let's talk DJ Lagway. Let's talk John Summerall. Let's talk what do the Gators do next at quarterback with former All-American Ben Troop on a Monday night here in the city of Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us till 10 o'clock, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
He tackles talk radio like a middle linebacker in the gap.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tommy Mack. Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unsealed by renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Look around and we know you've got options for gasoline, but those other places, they're not in the business of more. At Shell, that's what you get every day. Members get more rewards, more savings, more special offers. You'll even get 10 cents per gallon off of your first fill when you sign up and save on every fill after that. Choose to get more and more with every drive. Join the Shell Fuel Rewards program today at fuelrewards.com. Offer valid at participating Shell locations. Offer must be redeemed within 60 days of registration. Limit 20 gallons. Restrictions apply. Visit fuelrewards.com for more information.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
I know it's football season, but I know you love basketball too. And youth sports are always in season at the First Coast YMCA. Registration is now open for winter basketball at the Y. Today, more than ever, our kids need to experience the joy of being a kid while also learning the importance of teamwork, respect, and healthy living. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, fun environment with an exciting youth basketball league. Learn more at fcymca.org.
Ho, ho, ho! When I need gifts for special people, I go to Tobacco Cove at 3849 Bay Meadows Road. They have everything you need to make Christmas as special as they are. Find the finest and limited cigars, pipes and pipe tobacco, and the accessories that make life easier like humidors, cutters, and lighters. And don't forget Lampe Bergère fragrance lamps. So, take my advice and go to Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road, and make this Christmas one they'll remember.
1010XL is making spirits bright with our holiday gift guide, stuffed with great gift ideas from local businesses like Chicken Salad Chick, Metro Diner, and Gotham City Limit. Start shopping and saving at 1010XL.com.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Happy holidays, Googans. Santa Dan here. It's the holiday season, and that means hopefully more off time with the fam. Need a solid gift idea for the spouse or a specific family member? Beaches Dermatology can ensure that your special someone gets a great gift that won't break the bank and won't go hidden in a drawer. Botox, skin treatments, you name it, they have it. Take care of that spouse of yours this holiday season with a gift from Beaches Dermatology. Call today or go online at beachesdermatology.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jags. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jags, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, Cannons of Jags.
Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. And this time of the year, Honda has such a great lineup, especially when you want to get out on the road and just cruise.
Temperature's letting up a little bit. Oktoberfest is coming. Legendary Honda Goldwing, legendary Honda Rebel that's now an automatic. Lots to choose from and lots of easy riding.
And the price range and the size of the bike, you have a wide variety.
We do, from entry points to the finest of the fine.
All right, check them out. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency or their Facebook page.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Big news out of Gainesville earlier today. Quarterback DJ Lagway is entering the transfer portal. A surprise to some, maybe not a surprise to others, as it certainly appears now Florida is going to have to go in the portal themselves to find their starting quarterback in 2026. Let's talk about it with a former Florida Gator All-American, my buddy Ben Troop, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Ben, how we doing, man?
Man, we're doing good, Ryan. Thanks for having me as always, man.
Hey, Ben, thank you. And big news for your alma mater today as DJ Lagway enters the portal. Your initial reaction, Ben, this morning when you heard that news?
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I think what DJ Lagway was doing was trying to see who they was going to bring in as the next head coach, kind of get a chance to sit down with the next head coach, Coach Summerall, to kind of make a decision. I mean, DJ Lagway's been through a lot, and people forget – maybe the hardest two things to do in the state of Florida might be the head coach of Florida and the quarterback of Florida when you think about the exposure or the scrutiny that comes with it. I'm not mad at DJ Lagway. I understand that the business of football is something that a lot of these players be thinking about their futures. I mean, when you think about some of the best quarterbacks we've seen in the last, 10, 15 years. I mean, Kyler Murray was a transfer. You know, Baker Mayfield was a transfer. Trevor Lawrence, was a transfer. You see what Carson Beck is doing. So a lot of these quarterbacks end up having, longer or better careers at the new schools that they end up transferring to. I didn't want to see DJ Lagway go, but I definitely understand the decision.
There are reports out, Ben, and again, we're very early in the process here, but there are reports coming out that Lagway wanted to stay and maybe he and the new staff had a meeting and it didn't go well at that opening meeting. What would your thoughts be on that? Have you heard those reports?
I haven't, but I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, Ryan, you've seen Coach Summerall, open a press conference. He don't mince words. He seems to be a guy, look, this is how I see it. And I think that's a good thing, too. You never, ever want to come in as a new head coach thinking I, quote, need somebody that's currently there, whether that be staff or current players, because when players look at you as you need me, they use that against you. That's not a leverage thing for the coach. That's leverage for the player. Now, if DJ Lagway did indeed sit down with the new staff and they let him speak his piece, they also tell a DJ, now we've seen you now in 2024 and 2025. We're not saying that you don't have ability, but I didn't get this job because you're the quarterback. I got the job because my resume suits. And now I respect the fact that they did do that, because most of the time, Ryan, when it comes to these new coaches, it's my way or the highway. They don't seem to be the type coaches that come in, no matter what the school is, that they're going to be willing to bend, to whatever, these players want to do. But if they let DJ Lagway speak his piece and it didn't go the way he thought and they wished him well, hey, I can respect both sides, because I think Coach Summerall says I'm going to know he's going to have to rebuild the culture, even though they don't give you years to do that. You got to show promise within your first year. But if they did give DJ a chance to go out there and speak his piece and it didn't work out, that sounds like business to me.
Ben Troop was an All-American tight end at the University of Florida. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Ben, if indeed DJ Lagway has played his final game in a Gator uniform, why didn't it work out, man? The Gatorade Player of the Year, a 5-star recruit, all the acclaim in the world. Gator fans haven't been as excited for this guy as maybe dating back to the days of Tim Tebow. And to be honest, it was a giant disappointment. Why was it such a disappointment?
I think you said it. I think nowadays the one thing that really hurt these current players, this current crop of players, is comparison. I don't think it's fair to compare anybody, whether it's future players, current players, or Tim Tebow, because when you say Tim Tebow, now Ryan, me and you, we grown men, we know what that means when we talk about ability. To a fan, you thinking, oh, he's gonna win a Heisman. Oh, he's gonna go to 2 national championships. That's what they think when they hear Tim Tebow. It didn't work out because sometimes it doesn't, and a lot of times, a lot of players don't pan out. But when you talk about a place like the University of Florida, the biggest brand in the state, where everything and everybody matters, I think we're hurting the most was 2024. I mean, you go 8-5, you won every game you started in, you go back to that Georgia game, the touchdown pass, but then the injury happened, and you didn't play in the spring, and you didn't practice in the summer, and the first time you actually got on the field was a week before, your regular season game, and it just never turned over. I chop it up to just football, being football, and some players just ain't gonna pan out. But I think because of what he did in high school, people think I'm going up against high school talent. The last time DJ Lagway was the best player on the field is when he left high school. When you get to the SEC or just college football, you just a player on the field. It didn't work out for him. I am wishing him the best moving forward, but I just chop it up to college football in general. I got to Florida when Jesse Palmer was a starter, and there was a guy by the name of Rex Grossman who nobody knew. But by the time he left, probably should have won the Heisman, one of the best quarterbacks ever came through there. That's just sometimes, I mean, that's what happened when the rubber meets the road.
Ben, I want to get back to Florida in one moment. Final thought on Lagway. Put yourself in his shoes. Obviously, you were an All-American in your own right. Do you think DJ Lagway is looking for a fresh start, maybe at another big-time program? Would you advise him to maybe go to a, quote, smaller program? What do you think his next move should be?
I think he has to go to a big program. I think if he goes to a smaller program, Ryan, he's running from the smoke. He's running from the pressure. And I don't think that's him. I mean, I know his daddy went to Baylor. I know he's from Texas. I know that LSU gonna be coming because they got a new head coach. I mean, cause say what you want about a guy, like Lane Kiffin. Oh, he'll definitely think he can work with a guy like DJ Lagway. You see what Miami's doing. I mean, you talking, Cam Ward. You talking about Carson Beck. Could DJ Lagway be next in line for that? I think he goes to a big-time program because he's still a big name. He's shown some promise. It hasn't been what he wanted, but I think his redemption story could be one for the ages if he picked the right school with the right coordinator, right offense that can go out there and utilize. Because no one ever said he couldn't throw the football. He just had to look like himself as of late.
Couple of more for former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop. Conventional thinking, Ben, is that Buster Faulkner, the new Gator offensive coordinator, who you know very well, you're from the state of Georgia. Faulkner has spent time both with the Bulldogs and most recently the Yellow Jackets. The type of offense he wants to run probably wasn't suited for DJ Lagway's game. Would you agree with that?
100%. I mean, the fact that Faulkner has worked with Stetson Bennett, he's worked with Haynes King and those guys. He's done it at 2 big-time schools, and these coordinators and these quarterbacks, they know. I mean, the thing about Faulkner, he's from Georgia. He played quarterback at Valdosta State, which means, well, people who don't know, in the state of Georgia, if you're a big-time quarterback and you want to go to the air raid, you go to Valdosta State. If you're from the state of Georgia, which he did, and once again, every coordinator doesn't work for everybody, but being the national offensive coordinator of the year, I mean, that only happens to one person. So Faulkner says, look, I can work with any quarterback, but the skill set has to meet what I'm trying to get done. And I don't think DJ Lagway's skill set, he would have had to confine what he does to what Faulkner's going to try to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that we got Faulkner, though. I mean, like I said, Coach Summerall has been very, very aggressive in going after these coaches. We know that guys like Billy Gonzalez and guys like that weren't going to be really held over, not because they're not good coaches, but I want to start from scratch with brand new coaches who understand what I'm trying to get done. And it's good. I mean, yes, you got your D-line coach as a holdover, but just because you're a fan favorite and a player favorite doesn't mean you're going to be a holdover with these new coaching staffs.
Ben, I want to end with a quick thought on the Jaguars. Final thought on Florida. Look, I don't know this from anybody. This is just me purely speculating. I don't want people to think, oh, well, Ryan must have heard something. I have heard nothing. I'm just simply throwing this out there. There is a quarterback at Duke named Darian Mensah who threw for 3,600 yards, 30 touchdowns, and leading Duke to an ACC championship this year. Darian Mensah spent 2024 with John Sumrall at Tulane. If you're wondering who maybe the next Gator quarterback is going to be, I think that might be a good place to start looking.
Absolutely, and sometimes it just works out for both parties, right? I mean, if we started off at Tulane, obviously he went over to Duke. I think he was one of the highest paid players in NIL in 2024. You look at what they was able. They won the ACC and essentially kept Notre Dame from being one of the 12 teams in the college football playoff. I guarantee you, when players move on to other teams, coaches understand. And he saw the opportunity for the young man. What better way to boost his resume to come down to Florida? Now, I'm not saying he's going to. I'm definitely saying he's going to get a 352 area code pop up on his phone. I don't know if they call him or they call his representation, but he's going to have to tell Florida no. And I can respect that. I mean, the last time we saw the young man, he was in Charlotte, North Carolina, beating Virginia, who was the best team in the ACC, not named Notre Dame and Miami all year. If he goes from white and blue to orange and blue, hey man, I'm going to be rooting for the young man. But that's why this transfer portal is so intriguing. It's college football free agency. That's what it is. People can call it anything they want, but that's what I think it is. We'll see if the young man goes from Duke, to Gainesville.
You think Tramel Jones is in play at all, or will it be somebody out of the portal?
I think it's both. I think you have to give the young man that's on campus a chance to go out there and earn the starting spot if he's already in Gainesville. But Tramel knows, if he hasn't realized real quick, it's big business when it comes to college football, and the best player will play. Either you're on campus currently on the roster, or you stuck your name in the transfer portal. If you do not want to compete, do not come to a place like Florida, because they are going to snatch the best players. I keep saying this. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks you've ever seen. He was a transfer, and you see what he was, and what he ended up at 2019 is not what he started in 2018. It's the same Joe Burrow that came to the Swamp and threw a pick six in the Swamp, and Florida beat them. Now that was a different team in 2019, but the portal is a quarterback free agency in college football, and then you try to see if you can add other guys second and third. So, hey, DJ Lagway is a big name in the portal, and you're going to have a lot of teams trying to get that young man talent, because they're going to say, I know it didn't work out at Florida. I think we can work with you.
Ben, final thought. Let's move to the NFL. The Jacksonville Jaguars have won 5 games in a row, and yesterday Trevor Lawrence had 380 yards from scrimmage and 6 total touchdowns, probably his best performance in the National Football League. Why do you think the light has come on for Trevor in these last couple of weeks?
Because I think Liam Cohen has told him, just be yourself. See, when you're trying to be something more, that's when we lose game. When you just being yourself and trusting those guys around you, you can, because when he does that, he's not putting more pressure on himself. Liam Cohen said, look, man, I care about winning, not padding stats, not who's in the AFC Player of the Week or MVP, running. I want two things. I want to win games, and I want to win our division, which means you host a playoff game where anything can happen. When you tell that to your quarterback, when you say, hey, Trevor, I've already coached the number 1 overall pick. His name was Baker Mayfield, and I'm telling him the same thing I told you. Only difference is I chose him over you, or I will still be in Tampa. I think that makes Trevor Lawrence, one, play better, and I think it makes him dangerous, not just moving forward, but for his teammates. You need your quarterback to play at his best by being himself, not trying to do too much. And I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to keep having performances like he did on Sunday, but if he's not giving the ball away to the other team, Ryan, and he's just taking what the game is giving him, I think that makes this number 1, the AFC South has become really, really intriguing, really, really fast with 2 teams, and that being, Houston and Jacksonville. I think these last 3 weeks are going to be incredible, but I'm looking forward to it.
And I'm sure you've played big games at Mile High. The Jaguars are going to play the Broncos. You got Bo Nix in Denver, Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville on Sunday, Ben, and all of a sudden what is a very big game in the AFC.
I will say this. No one saw Bo Nix doing this, only in year 2 with him and Sean McVay. That Denver Broncos defense is about as stingy as it gets, especially when you get in the red zone. I'm going to be looking forward to the chess match. But I still like Jacksonville's chances. It's not that Denver can't be beat. It's you got to make them plays when they're there, because they're going to do two things. They're going to put pressure on your skill position guys, and they're going to force your quarterback to think, because they're going to hit him, and they're going to try to hit him early and often. If Trevor Lawrence can win the chess match, I like the Jaguars in this matchup.
He was an All-American tight end at the University of Florida, my buddy Ben True. Ben, if I don't talk to you before then, happy holidays to you and your family, and we'll talk soon, pal.
Ryan, always a pleasure being with you, man. Thanks for having me. Happy holidays to you and yours as well.
Get the goods on Gainesville 24/7. Search 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hosting the family holiday dinner can be a beautiful experience until your kitchen sink backs up before you've even served dinner.
Who tried to wash cookie dough down the drain?
We were making cookies for Santa and the reindeer. The reindeer like chocolate chip, too.
Great. Now we need a plumber and a new garbage disposal.
Superior Plumbing and Pipelining is no stranger to holiday plumbing problems. Don't let plumbing problems disrupt your holiday dinner. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining has you covered this holiday season. Learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL. Served by Dandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956. 1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Broncos. It is a big one on Sunday at 4 o'clock. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Of course, the Jaguars now 10-4 on the year, winners of 5 in a row and 6 of their last 7 after they absolutely just destroyed the New York Jets on Sunday. Let's recap the blowout victory over New York. Let's look ahead to the big one in Denver with the coach, Dave Campo. Always a little Monday night coaching with Campo here on Hacker After Dark, the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, always kind enough to join us. Coach, hope you're doing well, bud. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back talking with you. You know, obviously over in Jacksonville, over in Dallas, I'm still a Jacksonville Jaguar, you know, and when they're doing well, they've already beaten my prediction. I said 8 or 9 wins, they're at 10, and I'm hoping for a few more here. So everything's going really well with family, it all works.
Yeah, they've surpassed my expectation as well. I had them 9-8, and they've gotten past that. Coach, let's look back to yesterday, and the big story is obviously Trevor Lawrence. I mean, good heavens, 330 yards through the air, 5 passing touchdowns. He added 50 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. Statistically, it was his best game of his NFL career. Coach, what are you seeing out of Trevor Lawrence? These last 3 weeks, he looks like a different player.
Well, number one, I think he really, really understands what he's doing. You know, and that's something that people don't realize. You know, he's had a bunch of different coordinators and head coaches. You know, it takes a while to kind of understand, you know, the guy that's calling the plays and what he expects. I think one of the things that showed up more than anything else is that he understands. First of all, they simplified it a little bit after that blowout, you know, with the Rams. And since that time, you know, they're still using things, but they're doing a lot of plays that are working in previous games, and they're just giving it a bunch of window dressing, you know, and doing it a little bit differently. But that's the pressure on the quarterback. You know, the quarterback has to understand the motions and the shifts and all those kind of things. And I think he's doing that, you know, a lot better right now. And then obviously the ability for the receivers to get open. I think the addition of Jacoby Myers, Washington has always been coming on. I think those kind of things, have really helped him. And he has a great deal of confidence right now, Hack. That's the thing that people don't realize how important that is.
Well, it's interesting, too, and you talk about the confidence. It looks like he's developed that rapport with Jacoby Myers very, very quickly. And I don't know if we even know the answer to this. If Travis Hunter doesn't get hurt in practice, who knows if Jacoby Myers is even a Jacksonville Jaguar right now. But certainly after the Hunter injury, the Jaguars had to do something at wide receiver. They go out and they get Jacoby Myers. And this offense has looked completely different since his arrival.
There's no question about it. And even the game that Washington was down, Jacoby took his job, and, that combination, he comes back, they've got a lot of firepower over there. And that comes down to, obviously, the ability of the offensive line to protect. And I think the offensive line has done an excellent job this year. When you really look at it, listen, my MVP, I've said it, I think I said it on the show once before, is Van Lanen. I mean, for a guy to come in and do what he's done with the offensive line, that gives the receivers an opportunity to execute. A lot of those plays, when you talk about getting the ball down the field, you're really not talking about the takeoffs and the deep posts and all that. You're really talking about the deep digs, the 18 to 20-yard passes and run after catch. They've been able to do that because of the protection of the offensive line and giving those guys a chance to get open.
The head coach, Dave Campo, with us here on Hacker After Dark. A little Monday night coaching with Campo, reacting to the Jaguar blowout victory yesterday over the New York Jets. Coach, I'm old enough to remember, and I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. I was among many that wondered what the future was going to be for Travis Etienne back in training camp. Everybody was talking about Tank Bigsby this and the rookies that. And look, was he going to be traded? Was he going to be released? Well, obviously they kept him, and it's a good thing they kept him because he's having a career year. Not one, not two, but 3 receiving touchdowns for Travis Etienne yesterday in that victory.
Well, we've talked a little bit about Etienne. The guy, first of all, originally when he first came here, everybody was saying, well, we can put him outside. He can do a lot of different things in the receiving game. And then they never really used him, and now, he's getting the ball in a lot of different ways, which is great. And plus, the addition of the what we call power blocking up front, pulls, kickouts, traps, those kind of things. His one strength in the running game is how quickly he gets to the line of scrimmage. That's that in that style rather than the zone blocking. That's gives him a chance to get into the secondary, and he's making a lot of runs. He's not a guy that makes a lot of guys miss once he gets through the line of scrimmage, but he runs so darn quick and gets the ball so quick. That's a plus for him. So he's having a great year. I think some of that comes down to confidence as well. I think there was always that spectrum, behind him that people were talking about Bigsby and all this other stuff. Now he knows he's the guy, and I think Tootin coming in put a little pressure on him as well, but it's showing up that Etienne's the guy, not Tootin right now, and that's a real plus for this team.
Couple more for the coach, Dave Campo. All right, let's go to your bread and butter, coach, the defensive side of the football. Not a dazzling performance, I guess, yesterday, but certainly good enough to get the job done. 3 sacks, 3 forced turnovers in the win over New York. And it appears that those turnovers are coming back. We know they were setting a record pace early in the year. Then there was kind of a lull. All of a sudden, Coach, the defense is once again getting their hands on the football.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is just the pressure from the front, and we talked about Antonio Johnson. Antonio Johnson is the one guy that can play man-to-man and a guy that can catch the football down the field. He's doing a good job with that as well. And that interception by Buster Brown was unbelievable, unbelievable play. So I think it comes down to the energy level, Hack, really. To me, if you're playing fast and you are getting to the ball fast, and that comes from understanding the scheme, the guys coaching them up on what to look for, all those things become a factor. And you have to be around the football to make those kind of plays. And I think that's what this defense is doing. They're not great, but they play hard and not just hard, but they're playing smart. They're not making a lot of mistakes. To me, that's the key to the whole thing as far as turnovers are concerned.
Coach, I certainly want to preview Denver in a moment, but let's spend a second here on Liam Cohen. As you and I have talked in the past, I mean, the guy inherited a terrible situation, a team that had lost 18 of their previous 23 football games prior to his arrival, and he's got them 10-4 and in legit conversation for the 1 or 2 seed in the AFC in year number 1. They're almost a lock to make the playoffs at this point. Just your thoughts on Liam Cohen from a former head coaching perspective, because to me, Coach, he absolutely deserves to be not only in consideration for Coach of the Year, I'm not sure if he isn't the Coach of the Year in the NFL.
Well, I'll tell you, he's my idol. He's my hero. What he's done with this football team, like I said, when I first saw what he was doing in training camp, that kind of convinced me that they were doing things the right way. It kind of convinced me that he brought in a coaching staff, which is almost more important than the head coach. It's making sure you got guys around you that you believe in and understand where you're coming from. And, that includes the administration. Obviously, with Gladstone and Baselli, there was a new sheriff in town. And there was no question about how he was, trying to lead the football team, the way they practiced, all those kind of things. The guys to be commended. And, there's only a couple guys around, a couple coaches around. Maybe the guy that everybody was talking about that went to the Chicago Bears. That's probably the battle for Coach of the Year at this point. And so, I'm impressed with him. He's a good play caller. You can see that he has that transparency when he talks, but also you watch it on the field. If you watch him when the camera goes on him, he shows you when he's disgusted. He shows you when he's happy. All those kind of things come down to transparency. And if the team believes in you, that's when you have a chance to be effective if you've got the right guys on the field. So the combination of the coaching staff and him and the way he's got the players playing right now, you got to give him a ton of credit.
Final moments with the coach, Dave Campo. All right, the interesting thing about the AFC is the Jaguars, even though they're 10-4, they have to keep winning because Houston's 9-5. You look at other teams competing for maybe a wild card spot. The Chargers are 10-4. Buffalo is 10-4. I mean, there is a clear separation, the top 7 teams in the AFC to everybody else. All of these teams have to keep winning, and that sets up a gigantic one on Sunday. The 12-2 Broncos, the 10-4 Jaguars. Currently, Denver, the number 1 seed in the conference. The Jaguars, the number 3 seed in the conference. What a ball game that should be 4 o'clock on Sunday, Coach. A game people can hear right here on 1010XL Radio.
Great ball game. Obviously that's what you want to be doing at this point in time in the season. And it's going to be an interesting ball game. When you look at the two teams, there's a couple things that stand out that make this a very difficult game. The statistically, and again, statistics, I mean, you can make anything out of them, but at this point in the season, it kind of sticks out that Denver is probably the best team they will play this year, maybe. That right now, they are, when you compare them to us, the statistics are very similar, The ones that stick out, though, that concern you is that their defense is giving up 31% on third down. So you've got to be able to make plays on third down. They don't allow them. You got to stay out of them. You got to stay out of the third and longs. Their turnover situation, they've only had 17 sacks, but they on offense, but they got 58 on defense. That's 4 a game. And that's going to be a big factor in this football game. So we're going to have to stay on schedule. That's going to be one of the big things there. And then when you look at the win-loss percentages, they're very similar to us. You know, the teams that they've beaten now only have a 34% win percentage. Okay? They got the teams they lost to have a 64% win percentage. Only 2 of them, the Chargers and the Colts. But ours are very similar to that. 42% win percentage of the teams we've beaten, and the ones we've lost to, though, 62%. So this is probably the best team we played. Playing on the road, we cannot give up a bunch of sacks in this football game.
See, to me, and to that point, we got to go quick here. This has got to be a run the football game. You know, we saw a lot of passing yesterday against New York. This has got to be the Jaguars getting back to their roots, running the football, taking time off the clock, and just eating up that Denver defense with 3, 4, and 5-yard gains. I think Etienne, Tootin, LaQuint Allen even, you got to be able to run the ball if you're the Jaguars on Sunday.
No question. And this is probably, to me, like I said, with that third down percentage, staying on schedule is going to be extremely important. And that goes with running the football, getting the ball to Etienne, to the backs, whatever it takes to keep you on schedule so that you're not dealing with the third and longs. And like you said, keep them off the field. That's our best chance to win. The only thing that really concerns me at all is playing on the road. You know, the crowd noise and all that kind of stuff can affect the offense. As far as us playing them, I feel like we can go out there and play it. If we play our game and don't make a lot of mistakes, this will be a heck of a football game.
Jaguars and the Broncos, 2 of the best teams in the National Football League, 4 o'clock on Sunday. And, of course, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL. The coach, Dave Campo. Coach, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. Happy holidays, my friend, to you and your family. And we will certainly talk again soon, pal.
Well, I appreciate it. Happy to you guys as well. I just love that last one on Forrest. As a wise man, he's destined for greatness. So good. Have a great holiday, and I'll talk to you. Hopefully, I'll talk to you after this week, a big win.
And thank you to my buddy Dave Campo. Always a little Monday night coaching with Campo here on Hacker After Dark, the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And look, always love talking with Coach about the Jags, particularly this year, now that they are 10-4 after a dominating, and I do mean a dominating, victory yesterday over the New York Jets. The Jaguars still 1 game up on the Houston Texans in the AFC South, currently the 3rd seed in the AFC playoff picture, and they have a gigantic game on Sunday against the 12-2 Denver Broncos. Look, Jacksonville's won 5 games in a row. Denver has won 11 games in a row. Something's going to have to give out at Mile High when the Jaguars and the Broncos get together on Sunday, and we will certainly spend a lot of time talking about that game this week here on Hacker After Dark. Well, that will just about do it, man. Very, very busy Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. And we do have a ton of people to thank. Again, the head coach, Dave Campo, a little Monday night coaching with Campo tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Thank you to Ben Troop, former All-American tight end at the University of Florida. Got Ben on to react to the big news down in Gainesville that quarterback DJ Lagway is entering the transfer portal. Now, for those of you that have listened to me, I have nothing against DJ Lagway, but I said this before the season started. Back in June, July, August of 2025, I didn't understand all the preseason hype surrounding DJ Lagway. It was a guy his rookie year that completed less than 60% of his passes, had 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and all I heard was how great he was going to be, and all I heard was, the injuries were behind him, and he's going to be a Heisman finalist, and I heard all this stuff, which all sounded wonderful, right? It sounded great. And then reality happened, and reality was DJ Lagway, quite frankly, wasn't very good in 2025. In fact, you could argue he was downright bad at times. So now I see a lot of people up in arms that DJ Lagway is transferring. Look, if he goes somewhere else and succeeds, more power to him. I think he needs a fresh start. I think the University of Florida needs a fresh start. And I also believe that the type of offense Buster Faulkner, the new offensive coordinator, is going to run probably isn't suitable to what DJ Lagway does best. So I don't believe this is a bad deal for Lagway, nor do I believe it's a bad deal for Florida. I think both probably needed a separation, and I think in the long run it may work out for both the school and the player. And we also had Ross Tucker on. Ross Tucker, who was on the call yesterday for CBS for the Jaguars and the Jets broadcast. Ross joined